So, guys, we have our first case of malinformation committed by a lefty on RTE that went unchallenged. Yes, so if you were watching The Late Late Show on Friday night, which I probably think that most of my viewers here do not watch The Late Late Show, you are probably turned off by RTE, but I might be surprised. Many of you might still watch RTE. So you had on Friday night Holly Cairns, the leader of the Social Democrats, on committing the most awful case of malinformation that I've ever heard. Now, Holly has beautiful hair, but that's where it ends. And I think we all would prefer, and we all would take brains over beauty when we are dealing with our political representatives who sit in front of the cameras with God only knows how many, maybe the viewers have bombed on Late Late Show. I don't know what the viewership is, but the case remains that she still sat there and spouted the worst case of malinformation that you can get nowadays. And she said it unchallenged by Patrick Keelty, which comes as no surprise to any of us, but it's getting actually ridiculous. And I'm going to play it for you now. Please don't be insulted. And I apologise that I have to put you through this couple of seconds of Miss Cairns and her malinformation, but let's listen to it together.
We've seen other members of the Dáil conflating crime with immigration. That is also factually incorrect. There's actually more crime amongst Irish people than there is amongst our immigrant community, and that's just a matter of fact.
That's just a matter of fact, Holly Cairns says. Holly Cairns, how could she know? How could she know and say something that they tell us they do not collect? They tell us they don't collect the data. The only data we get is when you see a news article about some crime that they don't give the name of the person involved, they don't tell us much about anything, about where they're from, are they foreign or not. And we pretty much know, when we read those articles, we can pretty much guess that that is a foreign case, a foreign criminal. So how could Holly know when there is no data, they have not given us the data, how could she know and say such a thing? And it's highly insulting to the Irish for her to say such a thing. And just in case you weren't insulted enough, I'm going to just play it one more time to you. Listen to what she said.
We've seen other members of the Dáil conflating crime with immigration. That is also factually incorrect. There's actually more crime amongst Irish people than there is amongst our immigrant community, and that's just a matter of fact.
The way she says that is just a matter of fact, and that's it. That is just a matter of fact. So if you are sitting at home watching The Late Late Show, God love you, but if you are, she said that really, that she knows her stuff. That is just a matter of fact. When Holly Cairns knows that we don't collect the data, that the guards do not let us know. But lo and behold, yesterday, which is like less than 48 hours after that show, the front page headlines, shocking. Immigrant or foreign convicts have soared. They now hold 18% of the places in our prisons. Less than 48 hours after Holly Cairns said that. That is just a matter of fact. No, that's the facts, Holly. That is the facts. And Holly doesn't count the cases, like I said, the cases that come up that are dropped. And there are many, many such cases. Many, many such cases which should get severe sentencing, and they are dropped, thrown out, suspended. For example, the Mongolian man, you may have missed this. It was going around X there, and as I said, I know you don't want to set up an account yet on X, many of you, but I highly advise it, because these sort of stories get hidden under the rug on mainstream media, and we don't get to see them. There was a Mongolian man working in a hotel, sexually assaulted one of the ladies there, and he was let off. The case was thrown out. Why? Because he said he did not understand the cultural norms of Ireland. His culture allowed him to do whatever he did to this poor girl. In the linen room, while she was getting the bed sheets and the duvets and the pillows for the hotel. This guy sexually assaults her, this Mongolian man, And it was thrown out because the judge agreed with him. Okay, so you have different culture there. This is getting ridiculous. This whole thing is getting ridiculous. So Holly Cairns, with her beautiful hair, wouldn't count those cases that are dropped and thrown out. I mean, the sheer number of interpreters that are needed now for the court services. I can't remember how many million, I saw it recently. How many million is spent on interpreters, which we never needed. We never needed these people in the 90s. No need. But that alone will tell you the amount of court cases that come before the courts, the amount of arrests. But do you know who does collect data? Denmark, the UK, who 80% of asylum seekers come via the north. Micheál Martin told us. Helen McEntee told us. So they collect the data. The data is very clear. We can surmise that the data would be pretty much bang on if they released it here. They tell us they don't collect it, but obviously they collect it. Obviously they collect it. The dogs on the street know they collect it. They just haven't released it yet. But the data in the UK is clear. The data in Denmark is clear. The data in Sweden is damning. The data in Sweden is damning, where 3 out of 4 murders are committed by immigrants. That's Sweden. Denmark, similar data. The UK released data only very recently. Absolute craziness. Crazy data when it was released. And Holly Cairns doesn't understand what the words per capita means. Holly needs to go back to school. Holly missed maths, obviously. Per capita, for example, per 1,000, Holly. So you take the statistic and you put it per 1,000 of the Irish, as opposed to per 1,000 of another nationality. You pick a nationality, anyone you like, Holly, because we have them all here. In the UK, which we can pretty much guess, the statistics will be very near us. Okay, in the UK, they release the statistics. Now, this is for Holly Cairns, and this is for the lefties and the Social Democrats. Of the arrests of all crime, of the arrests in the UK by the British police per 1,000, when they spoke of the British natives, 12 arrests per 1,000. Let's pick Afghans, for example. They gave many, but let's just choose Afghans. 106 arrests per 1,000. You don't need to be, probably junior infants, and I was going to say junior cert maths, but no, let's go back. Probably junior infants can understand that. Holly. 12 British natives arrests per 1,000, 106 Afghans arrested per 1,000. As I said, the rest of Europe gathers this data. Why are we not gathering the data? And because of what Holly Cairns said on RTE the other night, I think out of the interest of transparency and malinformation that they're always trying to clamp down on, out of the interest of malinformation, the data should be released as a matter of urgency, because that TD has gone and misinformed the whole nation. The whole nation, who are not on X. So, and there's fallout in the BBC now this week because of they doctored a Donald Trump speech during the Capitol, the January 6th Capitol insurrection or riots or whatever they called it over there, which was found out to be absolute rubbish. The whole lot was rubbish. But they doctored the BBC, who are the state broadcaster for Britain, doctored the speech, put 2 speeches together of Donald Trump in a 50-minute, there was a 50-minute break between the 2 speeches, and they put it together to make it sound worse than what it was. The two big shots of the BBC, the heads had to resign. So, I mean, RTE, this is verging on that sort of thing as well. You should be defunded. The taxpayer should not be paying RTE to roll out lies. Absolute malinformation that they love to say. Holly Cairns was wheeled out the other night to make the Irish people feel bad about raising immigration or raising crime by immigrants, when everybody on the street knows exactly what's going on. And the worst crimes that have happened, and I've listed them before, over the past, very recent past of this country, which were never heard of. They were never, ever heard of on this island, like stabbing children with a 37-centimetre knife coming out of their school, and the rape of Alzheimer patients in their beds, and the beheading of gay men in their own homes, and the murder of Ashling Murphy, and the horrific recent rape of that 10-year-old girl were committed by immigrants into Ireland. And Holly Cairns will be nowhere to be found when any of us are walking around, or any children of the future who have to deal with these horrific crimes. Holly Cairns and the Social Democrats won't be standing holding your hand when you're scared. They'll be nowhere to be seen. Gone. Gone. So I think RTE owe the nation an apology. I think Patrick Keelty owes the nation an apology. He could have stopped her and said, hang on now, Holly, how do you know they don't collect the data? How can you possibly sit there? And that's a fact, she said. They don't collect the data. And the comments under the piece that I put up the video on Friday night about her, and I just put up the couple of seconds there, and I'll roll some comments under while I'm talking to you guys. But the comments tell you all you need to know. She has no support. Everybody knows what she said was lies. So, police force in England, in the south of England, Dorset, a village called Dorset, or a town called Dorset, they release data. I don't know why our guards don't release the data. It would stop everyone just talking and stop everyone getting angry with people like Holly Cairns on the Late Late Show talking nonsense. Dorset police came out and said that 44% of arrests for sexual offences, remember now, this is only a recent thing, came from asylum seekers living in the asylum hotels in the town. Think of that. Nearly half of the arrests for sexual offences came from asylum seekers in the local hotels, getting put up over there as well, free life, by the British taxpayers. These statistics are horrific. And the people like Holly Cairns will do anything to stop you finding out, or to stop you questioning, or to frighten you from questioning. So what she did on Friday night was actually made everybody talk about it. So it backfired on her, it backfired on the lefties, which it always will, because the truth will come out. And as I said, BBC are in meltdown now over their malinformation and their doctoring speeches and basically lies. The BBC are in meltdown. And I think after Friday night's performance by a left-wing leader of a party, who votes for these people? Who votes? It's time to start using our brains now. And it's time to start going for brains over beauty. And that's it. It's crazy. It is crazy. But it is a serious case of malinformation, and it was committed by a lefty on RTE, on our state broadcaster. And I think RTE need to apologise. And that's all I have to say about that this morning. I wanted to jump on and talk to you guys about that, to be aware. Share this video with people. If people are not on X or not watch YouTube, or your elderly relatives, talk to them about that piece on RTE Late Late Show, because no doubt they watched it. And tell them what the facts are. The facts. The real facts. Share my video. Share the info in it. And that's it. Set up an account on X. As always, I will be here for you bringing you all the news. And thank you for watching, and please subscribe, like and share. Take care. See you on the next one.